Hey, what's up everybody? This is Jumpin here, and this is going to be a Mass Effect 3 gameplay commentary. Today we're going to be playing All Tech versus Reapers on Gold. We're going to be using 4 engineers. We're going to be using 2 Geth engineers, 1 Solarian engineer, and 1 Quarian engineer. And I will be showing you all the different builds, but the first thing I wanted to say, after reviewing it all, I kind of think that it might have been better to just use 2 Solarians or maybe even a human over this Quarian, but I don't know, like we had a pretty basic strategy and idea. Alright, for the Quarian, we're going to pretty much leave fitness at 3, go for damage and capacity and power damage. For your cryoblasts, go for radius. I don't really remember what we went for here, but I think I went for speed reduction, but I ain't using it. So, and then freeze vulnerability, kind of like a warp in a way. For your incinerate, as you can see, pretty basic. You could go for freeze combo, don't really know. And then for the sentry turret, I believe it's going to be shock, armor piercing ammo, and then flamethrower. The basic idea is that there's going to be 3 sentry turrets out at all times. For the Solarian, it's going to be radius on the energy drain, then damage. The decoy can be left at 3, just as a distraction to banshees and things. For your incinerate, same setup pretty much. You can pretty much go either way you want. And then for your, power damage, obviously. And then for shields from fitness, all shields. That's going to be it for the Solarian now. Now for the Geth, and this is pretty much, you've seen this in the other video, but I'm going to show it to you again. Geth turret, it's going to pretty much, as you can see, mainly the flamethrower is the thing that's going to matter the most. Hunter mode, power recharge, power damage, then damage. Network AI, the overload's gonna actually, what I recommend for overload is actually, I've changed my mind. Damage I think would be better, and then chain overload, that would be pretty good. Damage and capacity, power damage, and then network, and then the fitness can stay at 3. Alright, so let's go ahead and let me go ahead and show you my weapon I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna be using the M99 Saber. As you can tell, I have it at 7, so I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be jelly, but it's just one of the only lucky weapons I get lucky with. Here's going to be my equipment for the round. I believe we are all using power amplifier 3s if you look, just so that we can do an insane amount of tech bursting. I'll get into all that in the strategy. Alright, so this is going to be, the gameplay is going to be on fire-based dagger. Like I said, it's going to be against the Reapers. The main strategy we're going to be using is to, pretty much just gangbang them with turrets and things like that. Like I was saying earlier on, is I believe that if I could redo this, I would say the Quarian, I don't know, I always have thought the Quarian engineer is probably the worst character in this game. And I know for a fact that it could be okay against Reapers, but, I mean, I don't know, the Cryoblast seemed like a good idea. It's just, I don't know, it didn't really work out the way I thought it would. So if you're going to try this with some friends, I would probably recommend either another human engineer for this, or another Solarian engineer. That way you can have, the 2 incinerates, because that's what's going to matter a lot. Besides the fact that these turrets are going to just do a lot of work, the incinerate is actually like pretty much the one power that really matters, because pretty much the idea here is that when the 2 Geth overload targets, and the overload on the Geth is very powerful. When the 2 Geth overloads a target, if the other 2, if the Quarian and the Solarian incinerates that target, that's going to be a tech burst. When Banshees comes and things like that, then, obviously the Solarian can energy drain them. The Solarian can energy drain Marauders too if you need your shield back, But pretty much the basic strategy is that as long as, the Solarian and the Quarian, or it could be the human, like I said, as long as, the other characters are incinerating, that should get us tech burst. And, Incinerate's going to do a lot of damage to armor, and then these sentry turrets are just going to do like amazing work against these enemies. Like it really is like insane when you have multiple sentry turrets with flamethrowers on them. We actually did this against Geth on Firebase White just to level up fast, and it was really funny because we would all 3 throw out our sentry turret, or we would have like 3 sentry turrets against the Geth, and it was just doing like massive damage. Now if you had 4 sentry turrets against the Geth with flamethrower, that would be kind of funny too, and I would love to see that. But like I said, it's just a lot of fun to play against Reapers with all tech. It does work very well, and you will see it in the gameplay. It's going to be kind of hectic. It's going to be kind of chaotic, and at times it's going to, at least for us, it felt like a nightmare. But I think overall it's going to look pretty. It's not going to look like a nightmare. But you know, that's just what Reapers are. They on gold, they are a freaking nightmare. Like no matter what you do, there's a lot of times where you know it's ridiculous. It's like a horror movie. Like they'll, you know, you got like 3 banshees in a, well, not 3, but you have like 2 banshees in a room with you with a brute and marauders and ravagers, and you're just freaking out. Like, oh my god, this is insane. As you can tell, I'm using this M99 Saber, and this gun is really amazing, especially on this gaff. You know, it does with one of the recent updates. They upgraded the power on this thing, which was like ridiculous because the power was already so strong on it. And it's just a really good gun. Now you could use a scope on it and then armor piercing ammo if you wanted to. I don't know. I mean, the scope would make sense on this map, but I just kind of wanted to show off that you don't really need the scope, and still, you know, this gun can still be very accurate without the scope. At least for me, like I know I can aim it. Now right here is gonna be our first Banshee. And as you can tell, it can really get wrecked pretty quickly from the turrets and the you know, the tech burst and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, like I was saying about this gaff, I've actually revised this like setup. I wanted to try something different, and that would be damage on the first thing on overload, and then recharge speed, and then chain overload. So there's only be two you know, the idea of it would be that there would only be 2 you know, chains. Like it's only, you know, 1 chain overload. But you know, because a lot of people would comment that shield damage, you know, it does make more sense, and I normally do go for shield damage on most of my overload setups. But with this guy, I don't really know. I think if you can have a high enough damage, even on gold, from what I've seen, you can pretty much, you know, almost, you know, if not take down a shield of a guy, you can almost take down the shield of a guy. And this guy's recharge speed is so fast that, you know, all you gotta do is just, you know, hit him with another overload, and they're gonna be pretty much lose their shield. So, you know, it's not really too bad. Now, uploads against Reapers, I've talked about this in other videos, but, you know, they are hands down the worst, especially in Wave 3 and Wave 10, only because there's gonna be Banshees in those 2 waves. And yeah, you know, like in wave, here's how it goes. In wave 6, it's gonna be no Banshees, which is like kind of a blessing. But in this wave, it's gonna be 1 Banshee, and it's gonna be, you know, infinite. It's gonna be non-stop. So you know, you gotta keep that in mind when the Banshee gets into the upload. You gotta get out of it. Well, you don't have to get out of it, but you have to at least try to keep it back. Now, the decoy's gonna come in handy a lot because, as you can tell, he's throwing out the decoy next to the Banshee, and you know, sometimes the Banshee gets distracted on it, sometimes it doesn't, but when it does, it really will do some work, because as it stands there trying to kill the decoy, you know, it's going to have all these turrets on it. Now the Banshee can also get distracted by the turrets. So overall, it's a very consistent thing. Like I said, if you were going to try this with let's say, scrap the Corian Engineer, which I do believe at this point, you know, you probably should scrap the Corian Engineer. It's just because it didn't work out for us the way I thought it would. But if you were going to try something different, you could have used a human engineer, and maybe even the combat drone. Like the combat drone could also help distract the you know, the Banshees and do some decent damage to it, and you know, things like that. That's one thing the combat drone does do really well. And then with these, I mean, the Gef's sentry turrets are so much better than the Corian anyway. Just the way that, you know, the Gef throws it out, the way that, you know, it does more power damage. It does a lot more damage because of all the Gef bonuses and stuff. You know, so that's just something to think about. Like, I know that Sentry Turret has more abilities than the Gef thing, and well, it doesn't even matter about the abilities that the Sentry Turret gets, because the Gef Turret can heal you as well, and that's just amazing. It really is. The main thing is this, though, guys, is that, you know, as long as you can, you know, have 2 people overloading and 2 people incinerating, that's what matters, because that will cause tech bursts, and that will, you know, help out a lot for some extra damage onto these Reapers, because you really, you know, like, tech bursts do work very well in this game. You know, bionic explosions work very well as well. You know, but at the same time, like, I don't know, I just personally prefer tech over bionics. Yeah, I know that bionics are really good, but in my opinion, I just think that tech is better. You know, pulling off a tech burst is so easy. You know, and it's way, I don't know, like, it's just so freaking easy, and because of that, you know, you can just get massive amounts. Like, if you were to use, I believe in this gameplay we are doing this too. I think like 2 of our guys are using disruptor ammo. which you know, you could actually run around with all disruptor ammo. If you did that, then what would happen is that, you know, you can get tech bursts off of those as well, because if you can shock them with the disruptor rounds, then what's going to happen is that when you overload, that will cause a tech burst. So, you know, there's a lot of other little strategies you can also do, you know, to make this work out really well. But for this gun, if you're going to use a powerful gun like the Saber, I probably do recommend armor piercing. I just really don't have that much armor piercing ammo, so I didn't really want to sacrifice it much. And I was thinking that, you know, maybe we can get some fire explosions in this gameplay, but for some reason we really didn't. Like I said, it just, I mean, I don't know. Well, it's obvious that the sentry turret really won't. The sentry turret really won't, like, you know, kill a enemy like just like a incinerate will. I mean, it just does a massive amount of DPS. Like, this build just does like a ridiculous amount of DPS per second. So, you know, like, just because of that's really good. And if this room, now, as you can tell, like, for the most part, we're kind of camping in a way. Like, we're kind of sitting up in the top area, and, you know, when they come to us, that's when we're, you know, yeah, well, I don't know, we're kind of shooting from a distance. I mean, it's Dagger. Dagger is kind of meant to be a long-range map. Definitely one of the best maps against Reapers. So if you guys are ever going to try to beat Reapers, you should probably do it on this map, because this map is definitely really fun and amazing. You know, because they have to come to you. That's the main thing, is that when Reapers have to come to you, like Banshees and things, you have a lot of time to really, like, unload on them. Especially, like I said, with these turrets, you know, if the two Banshees are coming at you from one direction, you throw out the two turrets, and then you just start overloading and energy draining and incinerating them. And by the time they even get up to you, they're going to be really weak. Like, right here is a good example. Like, although actually this won't be too good of an example because of the path they took. But, you know, throughout this video, you will see them, like, both pretty much lose their shield before they came in and, like, reach us. But, you know, once they start to swarm this room, because at this point on, this is when the Banshees will become heavy. And then once they start to, like, swarm this room, then, you know, I don't know. It's going to be ridiculous. There's a lot of close calls. But, you know, something crazy is going to happen in this gameplay. None of us are ever going to get assassinated. And this is actually literally the first time I've ever played against Reapers and not had anyone assassinated. And, you know, I would give credit to the fact that these turrets and this decoy is really what's doing it. Like, I don't know, like, it's just like, together those things are really distracting these Banshees and keeping them from, like, really coming after us. Now, they're still going to hit us with stuff like warps and things, but it won't matter as much. You know, like I said, this video is gonna seem very hectic, because it is, but it wasn't really hard. I mean, it just was like one of those things, like the room gets too swarmed and it's just hectic and we have to, like, leave. But in general, it wasn't like a big problem, like, you know, oh no. Right here, I'm gonna run up just to get this Banshee to come down this path. If you can get these things to come down this hallway, you know, hopefully, sometimes it won't work. Like right there, it didn't work, but sometimes if you can stop them and get, you know, keep them in the hallway, and even a big group of enemies, like, that's when you're gonna have some real fun, because you know, if you can get, like, you know, 5 or 6 enemies in that hallway, like, with the turrets and the decoy and when everything, like, you know, and then all our powers just hitting them nonstop, you know, it's gonna be amazing. Alright, so as you can tell, we have another Banshee in this room. But, you know, they do get dropped pretty quickly, like, you know, like I said, because of the tech burst from the overload and incinerates, and then with the sentry turret just doing massive DPS. Right there, one snuck up on them. So the main thing, like I said, and like, this room is a big ring around the rosy kind of thing. So, like, right here, you know, I'm just ringing around the rosy, this brute, and then, yeah, just took him out. You know, that's a strategy you can do, is that, you know, especially with this hunter mode will make it nice too, because you're going to be able to see, you know, you're going to be able to see, you know, outside the, around the room, the whole room, without actually, you know, seeing it. And that's just something that's awesome about this. Now, this Saber with a scope is really easy to aim. Without it, it's not as easy, but it's not, like, hard. I wouldn't say it's hard. I don't really ever have much trouble with it. Like I said, if I can go back, though, I would probably have put a scope on this gun for this map. And then I would also use armor piercing. That's what I would probably recommend. If another good gun too that you can try for this would be maybe the Solarian. You know, the Solarian. Well, you could also use the Solarian Infiltrator for this too, by the way, guys. But let's say for, since there is not one in this video, if you had a Solarian engineer, you could put a Raptor on him with armor piercing 3. The Raptor sniper rifle is actually really good against Reapers, even on gold, as long as you have armor piercing 3. Like, you have to have armor piercing 3 on that gun. And you just do a lot of damage to them before they can, like, get you. So, alright, this is going to be wave 6. There's going to be no Banshees this way, but guess what? We got a freaking upload. Like, again, like, I don't know what it is about me and Reapers, but every time I play against any faction, for some reason, every time I play on gold, I always get, like, the worst objective against that particular faction. Because, like, the honest God truth is that the worst, well, I don't know. The worst that you'll ever get against Reapers is the uploads, and against Geth, it's going to be the devices where you have to go enable them. Cerberus, I don't know. It could be bad. Any of them could be bad against Cerberus. Cerberus is kind of like that. But I don't know. So, these uploads suck. But, the good thing is that there is no Banshees this wave. It's just going to be Brutes and Ravengers, like, non-stop. And for the most part right here, we're going to get dropped. Or, well, 2 of us are going to get dropped. But it's not going to be a big deal. Now, one of the downsides to using this turret like this is that it won't really heal you too much because it's not going to be... For the most part, a lot of times it won't be in the range. Right here, it is in the range, so that's a good thing. But like I said, if it's not in the range, it's still not a big deal. Like if you ever feel like you need it to heal you real quick, you can always just throw it out next to you and let it heal you, and then throw it back out down to where the enemies are. Primarily, as you can tell, these enemies are going to be coming from that one path, especially the Brutes, and that's the one that matters, is the Brutes. So if we can keep all our turrets down there, and then that should distract them / do a lot of damage to them before they can actually make it up. And we're actually almost done with this upload, so it's been pretty much, we're actually done. So that's been awesome. One thing I did want to talk about is what my plans for the rest of the week for these Mass Effect videos and also for the weekend. First thing I wanted to say is that my very next video that will be coming out will be a all Geth on Gold gameplay. So, and I'm going to be using the Geth Infiltrator for that gameplay, and then the 2 Geth engineers are going to be using like this setup pretty much for the Overload and Sentry turret. I did promise that video, and I did get a lot of likes on my last video, and a lot of people want to see that, so I'll definitely bring that out. Now, if I can get enough likes on this video, I'll make that a live commentary. And one thing about the live com with that is that that's going to be like a little interesting for a live com, because it's not going to be like we're not, we're going to be communicating a lot. You have to. When you use all Geth, especially if you're trying to like stay together and work together, you have to communicate very well. So that video should contain some pretty decent communication in it, things like that. So, give me enough likes, like I said, I'll for sure make that a live com. Also, my Fun with Guns episode 5, I believe, it's going to be coming out on Friday instead of Saturday this time, mainly because I do have a special video I want to bring out on Saturday, and I'm not even going to tell you what that is, but there will be it will be a live com as well. It's going to be a special video, it's going to be a live com, and it's going to be related to some way to the Fun with Guns episode 5. So just look out for those videos. Those are going to be pretty much my next videos I'm going to be bringing out. The gun that I'm pretty sure that's going to win for this week is going to be the Disciple. After counting it, it's a pretty close race. Well, actually, I don't know. It's not really a close race with the Claymore, but for the most part, I believe it's pretty much this Disciple has kind of like, won. But I mean, I don't know, guys. You guys can still go and vote. More than likely, I would prefer it if it would just stay the claim. I would prefer it if it was the Disciple, because I really do want to use that gun and talk about that gun. And I actually already got the video for that, so hopefully it won't really change. But like I said, Disciple's probably gonna win it, and that will be the next Fun with Guns. And just look out for that on Friday, things like that. Now, this is going to be the first time that we're going to be pushed out of the room. Like I said, that does happen sometimes. This is a very terrible position, though. So, the only problem that's going to happen is now once this Banshee's dead, I was like, come on, guys, let's go back. Because you really need to push back into the room right away. But because, like, they were getting dropped, and, like, these guys were getting dropped down here, we have to go and try to get them. Being a Geth trying to get someone up is just a bad idea sometimes, because you will get dropped very quickly doing that. But, I don't know. So, the main thing is just as long as we can just get, get these people up and try to get out of here. I don't know. I just actually ended up just telling him, yo, get up and come on. Like, F it, get up and come on. Because the Banshees are coming back now. So now the main thing is that we need to push back into the room now. There was a Marauder in this room that I kind of forgot about. So that kind of sucks. But, as long as you can kill this one Marauder and then get back into the room and lure the big enemies like the Banshees and stuff. If you look, like, the Banshees is so distracted down there by something. I believe it's the decoy. I don't really know, but that's pretty awesome. Like, yeah, look at that. That's freaking amazing. But like I said, the main thing right here is just to, stay. If you ever get pushed out, you need to try to make a conscious effort to get back into the room, especially on this map, because if you can't get back in there, this room really will provide the most cover, the best tactical position on the whole map, things like that. So just something to keep in mind. Like, this is pretty much a good example of the hallway, how deadly this hallway can be. Well, not really, because the Banshee's gonna kind of screw that up. But like I said, as you can tell, there was a lot of enemies coming down that hallway. So if you were actually able to trap the Banshee in that hallway, then yeah, you would have like no problem killing all the enemies, just because with the turrets and the tech burst, things like that, it would be amazing. Anyway, like I was saying, so that's pretty much what we've just been doing. Like, this wave should be almost over at this point. I don't know, I really am enjoying this Geth like this. Like, this Geth is a lot of fun if you use them in the offensive build. It's definitely amazing. Probably, in my opinion, the best engineer in the game now. I don't know, the Solarian is still, probably the best, on paper, but when it comes down to having fun, I mean, Solarians really aren't that fun anymore. I've used them so much, that it's just, it kind of gets old, you know what I mean? And the Geth is kind of refreshing and just awesome. So, I don't know, I definitely recommend you guys trying out the offensive build. It will work well. If you're ever going to try to play against, Reapers, though, I do highly recommend, if you're going to use an engineer and you're playing with randoms, just use the Solarian. The Solarian is more consistent. Energy Drain will help you out a lot, and Incinerate will help you out a lot. So this is something to keep in mind. Those are two things that will really, really work well. And the Solarian Engineer has always been good against Reapers. But I think the Geth can also, I think now the Geth can be good as well. And right here, I'm going to throw out if you ever get hit with a warp or a shockwave or whatever that is that the Banshee does, if you ever get hit by that, make sure to throw out your turret close to you. And just in general close to your teammates, because if they're hit by that as well, because that move does DPS, and because it does DPS, it can actually almost, because this guy is such a glass cannon, you really do need to have something healing you so that it's not damaging your health, it's just damaging your shields. So if it can heal you, you're going to be okay, you're going to be totally fine. But if it can't heal you, then yeah, you might have a problem. Like right here, I'm going to do the same thing. I got hit with a warp. I'm standing by the turret, and then boom, it heals me now, because otherwise I probably would have died right there. Just things like that. Now, one other thing I wanted to talk about is there actually has been some updates this week, and I'm really, really happy they came out with the Jumbo Equipment Pack. That's the first thing. I'm so happy about that. I'm already up to, a lot of equipment again, just because I've just been buying those, and I highly recommend, guys, just buy those. Max out your equipment. It maxes out around 260. Don't really know the exact number, but it's somewhere around there. I think it's 265, to be honest. But I've had people tell me they've had 270, and I have literally had 265. Now, I'll tell you a story about equipment, just so you can understand why I think like this. One time I had 265 op packs, 265 metagels, and 265 thermal clips, and I only had 100 rockets. So I went ahead and bought a jumbo equipment pack. This isn't the last time we had jumbo equipment packs. I bought one, and when I bought one, I got +5 rockets, +5 op packs, +5 metagels, and +5 thermal clips. So, I got all these things, but what ended up happening was that after I actually bought it, I went down to 260, 260, 260. So, instead of going up 5, I went down 5. It was crazy. So, like I said, it's kind of weird. I think that's the max. So if you guys can get to that number, which I highly recommend, then yeah, then you can start buying, nothing but Spectre packs for a while, because it's the equipment that matters, honestly. Because I've been buying all last week, instead of buying resurgency packs or anything like that, I've been actually buying I actually been buying like veteran packs because I just needed equipment. I had like 8 of everything, and that's just no good. Like if you have 8 of everything, like you're gonna run out every game pretty much. So this is something to keep in mind. I really, really, really recommend buying the jumbo equipment packs until you can get. And then the other good thing is gonna get you all the new mods and things like that. So that's awesome. Anyway, but like I was saying is that there has been an update, and there's been some changes to some of the guns. For one, a couple of the shotguns lost weight. I know the scimitar is it weighs like nothing now, so when you have it on, when it's at 10, you get pretty much 200% on most of the characters, so that's freaking awesome. Same with a couple of the other shotguns. I know the Hurricane SMG got another update in power and less recoil, and I really want that gun out of all. I don't know, like I do want the Valiant. I believe that's the sniper rifle. I want that gun a lot because everybody wants that gun because that gun is amazing. But besides that one gun, I would probably prefer the Hurricane though. I don't really like sniping in this game. I've talked about it before. But like oh wow, run. Like that can happen, so be careful. But yeah, this room's getting clustered, and if that does happen, another place you can go is out here. This is what I told everybody. I was like, guys, run out here. But anyway, like I was saying, there's been this update, and a couple of the things that are really, really, really important to know is that the proximity mine is now so much better, honestly. Like, I've tried it, and it's kind of a shame because it literally makes the Solarian Infiltrator even more, broken and better. Because, like, okay, the best build with him right now, it really depends on, like, what you like, but the best build right now for him is actually going to be Proximity Mine at, Proximity Mine maxed out, Tactical Cloak maxed out, Energy Drain maxed out, Operative to 5, and then just, Fitness to 3. So in my opinion, that would be the best build with him right now because, like, what they have done with Proximity Mine is its default radius now is 3 meters. It used to be 1.5. I don't really remember, or 2 meters. It used to only be 2 meters. Now it's 3 meters. So when you go for radius, the 50% more radius, it actually goes up to 4.5 meters. So that's actually really, really big, and this is a terrible position. Like, we are really trapped. Yeah, and that happens, just rocket out of it, especially in these later waves like this. This is always the waves where you can rocket. 9, 10, and 11 is where if you're going to rocket, you should rocket, and especially to save yourself like that. And like I said, this is just a really bad place to be. At this point, we need to just get out of here, push back into the room if possible because of these marauders and things. But yeah, this can happen and this will happen, so I just really needed to say something about that. But anyway, like I was saying, so the Proximity Mine now has 4.5 meter radius. That's actually detonation and, explosion range. So it will detonate if they come into 4.5 meters of its radius. And it will also, besides the fact it can detonate now, because, like, now it used to be that you had to almost hit them directly with it. Now you can literally just throw it out around them, and it will, like, instantly explode and, hit all the enemies in 4.5 meters of it. And they can take 20% more damage, things like that. So it really will be amazing, and that's something else you could do for this if you wanted to. You can use one Solarian Engineer and one Solarian Infiltrator, but for that strategy, you would have to have them primarily just energy drain a lot because that will cause tech burst, energy drain, and overload. So that's something you can do, but the Proximity Mine too would be really good for this because it would make the Banshees weaker, it would make the Brutes weaker, it would do like a decent amount of damage to them, things like that. And as you can tell, this is going to be Wave 10. Now, if you ever get these devices, especially on Gold, and if you don't have an Infiltrator, this is another very important thing. You need to send one person out, and then I really thought I was going to get assassinated right there. I was really, really lucky I didn't. But like pretty much, and like here we go. We're gonna lure them down to this hallway, and this should be death for them, like I said. And I actually pulled my rocket out right here because I thought that there was gonna be another Banshee coming right away, but there's not. So like I was saying though, the best strategy to do, and when you have devices, and especially if you don't have infiltrators, is to go ahead and let like one of your people run around and get them all, and then let everyone else just stay together and camp one area, or just because if 3 people are in one area like we are right now, it's going to lure all the enemies for the most part to us and keep them off of the person getting the objective. If you were to run around and you'll see this in a second here, if you were to run around and stay by the objective with the person trying to get it, that's when you might have some problems. And the reason why I say you'll see this is because this next objective, which is which is actually kind of hard to see only because it's the GEF with hunter mode. It can be really tricky to see sometimes. But this next objective is actually in this position that we're holding down right now. We didn't really notice it, like at least I didn't. I wasn't paying attention to it. So, I was telling them, come on, push back into the room, come on, push back into the room. But because of that, I think Snide's going to get dropped because I wasn't paying attention to the fact that, yeah, the objective's right there. So, this is one of those moments where, like, because we're all together on this part of the map, yeah, it's getting just overran like crazy. And, I think one of us just rocketed. I think Drew went ahead and took a rocket. And the main thing is that, now that it's cooled down, now that the enemies are dead, now he can pretty much get it when he can still hold on to the position. But because it actually spawned by us is the reason why that happened. If we would have never been standing there, there should have never been enemies there to like take Snide down as he went for that objective. So just something to keep in mind. So at this point, we're gonna go ahead and stay over here, and this is actually where the next objective spawns. So like it's freaking crazy, but it's whatever. But we should be able to get it before these enemies can really, mess with us too much. And yeah, we got it. So, the whole point now is just to take out the rest of the enemies. There's going to be, I think there should still be 2 Banshees. Yeah, there's still 2 Banshees and like a couple Brutes and stuff. There's good thing about Gold is that, one good thing about Gold I really do like is that they really do tone down on the normal enemies in the later waves. You just get the big enemies. You get the Phantoms, you get the Atlases, you get the Banshees, you get the Ravagers, you get the Brutes, you get the Primes, you get the Hunters, you get the Pyros. You don't really see any of the Class 2 or Class 1 enemies anymore. You don't see Centaurians, you don't see Rocket Troopers, you don't see Marauders as much. And that's such a good thing because I freaking hate Marauders more than anything out of Banshees. So not seeing them and just dealing with big, dumb Brutes and, Marauders and stuff, no, not Marauders, I mean Banshees and stuff, to me, I think it's kind of easier than dealing with all of them and a lot of Marauders, because that's when actually, I do believe that that's harder if you're dealing with like 2 Banshees and like 6 Marauders, like, because you're going to get mowed down, you're going to be distracted by the Banshee, and you're going to get mowed down. At least in this way, it's, like I said, it's just not so bad, it's just like, you're dealing with one big enemy at a time. You just, pick your target. You go, okay, let's all kill the Banshee. Then, like, okay, let's all kill the Brute. Then let's all kill the Ravager. Things like that. And it's easy as pie. One other thing I did want to bring up in this video is that this week's challenge, this weekend's challenge, I do know it now. It's going to be kill 1,000,000 Phantoms. So thank you, BioWare, for finally bringing out another one of the kill challenges. Because I thought the killing of the Brutes was awesome. And now the killing of the Phantoms, that's going to be so sick because, if we kill 1,000,000 Phantoms, so I mean, just me alone, I'm going to try to kill me like at least 10,000 Phantoms. I probably won't be able to kill 10,000, but at least like I know like my friends and hopefully the clan, our clan, Feared and Respected, hopefully we can kill 1,000,000 just by ourselves. That would be awesome. I'm going to try to keep track of how many I kill though, just for fun. But just because I love playing Cerberus and I love killing Phantoms, so that's going to be awesome. The other thing, the individual challenge this week is going to be for everyone to beat Gold at least once, so that should be easy. I mean, if you guys don't feel very confident as a Gold player, 2 things. The first thing is that you can just play GEF and just beat it, and that should be easy. Or if you're in the clan and you really can't beat it, but you really do want the thing, just go ahead and hit me up and we'll somehow figure out a way for you to play with us and beat it. Because we'll probably be playing Gold all this weekend, just to kill a lot of Phantoms. To be honest, like that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be killing Phantoms like it's our job. And you really will see a lot of Phantoms on Gold compared to Silver. So, like I said, anyone in the clan, if you hit me up and if you're a person who don't feel very confident, you know, for the most part, we could probably just boost you and just, you know, because I want to see everyone in the clan get their accommodation packs and their victory packs. And as you can tell, this is pretty much winding down. You know, just look out for the other gameplays that's going to be coming out. Like I said, on Friday is going to be, you know, Fun with Guns episode 5, which will probably be the Disciple. I'm going to also bring out probably later today or sometime soon here, all Geth on Gold V2, which is going to be with this Geth, you know, 2 of these Geth engineers set up like this, and the 2 Geth infiltrators. So look out for that. And yeah, guys, you know, so please give me a thumbs up, give me a like. Please comment, and definitely please subscribe if you haven't already. I do a lot of these Mass Effect videos, and it's going to be pretty much it, guys. So thank you for watching, and like always, have a nice day.